CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium. This is the third and final game of this series. Each team has won a game. John Gibbons will send a 21-year-old starter to the mound, hopeful of winning this first series of the season. And he'll do it with this lineup tonight. Take a look at the lineup. Top of the order is the same as usual. Reyes, Martin, Batista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson. Jose Batista against left-handed pitchers in 2014. A .345 average and 10 homers and an OPS over 1. Same for Josh Donaldson. He loves it when there's a lefty on the mound. He led the major leagues with 14 homers against lefty pitching. Now it's time for the starting pitchers. They're brought to you by Scott's Weed Be Gone. This spring, knock weeds out of your park with Scott's Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, not lawns.
This is CC Sabathia. And there are his numbers in just 8 starts last year. He's got a lot to prove starting tonight. Those 8 starts. His final start was on May the 10th. And then knee surgery. He missed the rest of the season. Spring training numbers were not that good. 0-3 with an ERA over 8. But he showed encouraging signs. Buck in the spring, velocity, pitchability, and most important for CC and the Yankees, health.
Has a changeup, and Reyes is quickly behind 0-2. Jose Reyes, a switch hitter. Three-pitch strikeout, another changeup, and the Blue Jays are going to have to get used to that. One out. Let's take a look at the defense. A little bit different alignment for Joe Girardi's Yankees. In the outfield tonight in left field, it's Chris Young. He's a right-handed hitter. Ellsbury and Beltran in center and right, respectively. Gold Glove winner at third, that's Chase Headley. Up the middle, it's Gregorius. And the second baseman is Gregorio Petit, making his first start of the season. The Sheriffs at first, and J.R. Murphy is behind the plate for CC Sabathia.
Yankees picked up Gregorio Petit right at the end of spring training. They're real happy with him. He's got some major league experience, played some games at second, short, and third base. Gets the start tonight with the lefty on the mound.
Blue Jays saw him a year ago with the Houston Astros. He's also played with the Oakland Athletics, his original ball club. Russell Martin behind 0-1.
Well, there's no question about it. The Blue Jays have got a different animal on their hands now in CC Sabathia than the one we saw just a few seasons ago. Doesn't throw as hard as he did. A lot more change-ups, a lot more breaking balls.
Have to make an adjustment, and Blue Jays made an adjustment on Monday afternoon against Masahiro Tanaka. He wasn't throwing many fastballs, and it took them about 5-6 hitters into the lineup before they figured that out.
They figured that out, and they hit him hard, knocked him out after 4 innings.
Ground ball. Gregorius has it, gathers himself, and throws out Martin. 2 down.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for CC Sabathia, the veteran. He's been around a long time. He's 34 years old. There's the fastball. Look at the miles per hour. It's barely 89. He used to pump it in there at 95, 96. More sliders and more changeups. You see the percentage has gone up, and he'll cut the ball every now and then. The whole key, I think, for CC Sabathia, because he doesn't throw the ball by you anymore, you got to keep it down in the strike zone. And for the most part, he did that in the spring.
Jose Batista looking for his first hit of the season. Breaking ball catches the outside corner, and Sabathia continues to use the off-speed pitches. Batista is 0 for 9 to start the season. Had a terrific season a year ago.
And he has hit well against left-handers. I think, Jose, when you watch him here through the first 2 games, the Yankee pitchers have really mixed it up on him. They've thrown him a lot of breaking balls. And in fastball counts, they've thrown him breaking balls. Breaking ball counts, they've thrown him fastball. So Jose's been in between.
Batista, for his career, Pat, has hit .271 against lefty pitching. But those numbers improve when you look at his time with the Blue Jays. .277 as a Blue Jay against lefty pitching, but his numbers against Sabathia, not very good. This is popped up and out of play over the screen.
See, those are pitches that Jose was hammering in spring training. He's just, for some reason, I don't know if it's the weather or what it is, he's just out of sync a little bit.
You can bet the weather has something to do with it. The Blue Jays enjoyed another great spring in Florida, and so did the Yankees, but for Batista, it's just got him out of sync a little bit early. 2-2 pitch. Another pop foul, and you're right. It's just a fraction of an inch that he's off right now. He's taking a pretty good cut, but he's just a little off with his timing.
He'll always do that. He'll always take a good cut. 6 home runs in the spring. He was driving the ball all over the place down in Florida, but here it's just a little bit off, and I don't know if it's because he's seeing more breaking ball pitches or more off-speed pitches.
Another breaking ball, another strikeout. 3 up, 3 down for CC Sabathia. A couple of strikeouts in the first. Daniel Norris will make his second big league start, first of the season here in Yankee Stadium. His numbers against left-handed pitching pretty impressive. He is just 6 home runs shy of 660 home runs. Mark Teixeira's career numbers against the Blue Jays are good. 30 homers and 90 RBIs in 117 games. Tough lineup, some new changes as J.R. Murphy's behind the plate.
A lot more right-handers in the lineup now because the lefty Daniel Norris will take the mound. Makes his second career start after a September call-up last year. He made his first opening day roster of his career on the strength of a very good spring. Pitched 7 times, and he won his last 4 starts. He was a second-round draft pick in 2011. Got up here very quickly.
Daniel Norris returned 25 on the 22 on the 25th of April. He's 21 years old. He's from Johnson City, Tennessee. He's a first pitch strike to Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury had a good game last night. He was on base 4 times, had a couple of walks, and singled twice, scored 2 runs, and had a stolen base.
Joe Girardi was talking about him after the game. He was the whole key to their victory last night. Getting on base. He had the big at-bat. If you remember in that 8th inning after the bloop double, he singled to center field. That really set the stage for the big inning.
1-1 pitch. Up and away, ball 2. Daniel Norris pitched his way onto this ball club because of a great spring. Last year, everything finally came together for him. He went 12-2 in the minor leagues. Travis never saw that ball. Danny Valencia, the first baseman, into foul territory as second baseman Devin Travis threw up his arms. He never saw that ball come off the mat. Take a look at the defense, and there are some changes. Steve Collison gets the start in left field. First start for the Blue Jays in left field. Pilar moves to center. Batista is in right. On the infield, Donaldson, Reyes, Devin Travis, and Danny Valencia gets his first start at first base. The right-handed hitter against CC Sabathia, and then Russell Martin teams up with Daniel Norris. Foul ball just barely outside the third base foul line. Look at the umpire at third, Jim Reynolds, saying that ball hit just outside that foul line. And Rodriguez looking down to third base umpire saying, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, he couldn't believe it. He thought he got enough, and I'm sure he has hit enough in his career, but you can see clearly right there.
What a great view. That umpire focused on that pitch, on that line drive. I mean, Jim Reynolds jumped out of the way, but he never took his eye off the baseball and saw it hit clearly in foul territory. Good job, Jim. Strikeout, another changeup. We're seeing that a lot from these young pitchers for the Blue Jays. They have a lot of confidence in that changeup.
That's one thing they wanted to master while they were in the minor leagues, master the changeup. You can see Daniel Norris tucks that ball deep in his fingers, and that throws off the timing of Alex Rodriguez after a couple of fastballs. An excellent pitch in an excellent spot for the strikeout.
Carlos Beltran, the switch hitter, facing Norris for the first time, and he cuts at the first pitch, and it's a first pitch changeup. Beltran saying, "Wait a minute, you're 20 years old. You're making your second start in the big league, and you start me off with a breaking ball. What's up with that?"
Well, he's a first pitch fastball hitter. He's got a veteran back there, Russell Martin. He knows all about Carlos Beltran. They go over the scouting reports, but Norris has got pitchers. He pitches. He's got a good breaking ball. He's got that changeup that he's starting to learn, and a fastball. There's another breaking ball off the front leg of Beltran. He's got all the weapons. Let's take a look at the scouting report for young Daniel Norris. Fastball in the low 90s. He puts it in a good spot. He'll changeup that is really starting to develop for him. A curveball and a slider. He's a typical starter. You know, he's got great arm action. You can see from that shot right there how he gets on top of that ball and really drives it to the lower parts of the strike zone. But he's made strides over the last few years. I was talking to some scouts about him, and they loved this guy where they saw him in the minor leagues. They felt like he was the #1 prospect in the Blue Jays organization, and he has come very quickly.
1-2. Breaking ball upstairs. It's even at 2-2. Norris pitched 7 times in spring training. He pitched to Russell Martin just twice. He last worked to Martin in Montreal on the 4th of April. Final spring game. He runs the count to 3-2. 2 outs were in the first. CC Sabathia set down the Blue Jays in order in the top half of the inning with a couple of strikeouts.
Good time for another changeup.
How about that backdoor breaking ball? A couple of strikeouts for Daniel Norris. CC Sabathia set the tone. Daniel Norris followed pace. 3 up, 3 down for Norris with a couple of strikeouts. Gets him with the high breaking ball.
Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Edwin Encarnacion will start the second for the Blue Jays. They are pleased to be beyond the first inning in this series. The Blue Jays have gone 0 for 9 in the first inning with 6 strikeouts. Encarnacion, 34 homers, 98 ribbies a year ago. Edwin had a pair of hits in last night's game. He's got one right here. This could be extra bases. They had him shaded over in the area right center, and Beltran gets to it quickly. Nice play by the Yankees right fielder.
That is twice in this series now that Edwin has crossed up the defense. Hit a ball to the right side when they put 3 infielders on the left side. He crosses them up and shoots them to the right field. I thought for sure that this was going to be a double. Off the end of the bat, past the Gold Glover to Scherer. Wasn't hit that hard, but Beltran played it perfectly. Off the wall, he hustled over there very quickly. Played it off the wall and held Encarnacion to a single.
That looked like it was going to be 2 all the way. Beltran doing a nice job. This is Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. Donaldson goes after the first pitch. Donaldson 0 for 3 with a walk last night on the Monday afternoon game. Donaldson was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. He is looking for his first hit of the season.
He might want to try and shoot one to right field too.
I think you're going to see more and more of that as these big hitters are going to spread the defense out. You can see in the outfield they play him straight away. Second baseman Gregorio Petit just slightly to pull.
It sure looked like it on that first swing, didn't it, from Donaldson, from Sabathia? They was trying to go to right field.
He did a nice job working on that aspect of his game throughout spring training, and his final home run went to center field in Montreal, his 6th of the spring. This is an impressive list. Home runs 2014 against lefty pitchers. Donaldson led the way. Victor Martinez, of course, is a switch hitter. Hard hit, base hit into center field. Ellsbury over quickly, and Encarnacion will stop at second. So Donaldson has his first hit of the season, and they've got CC Sabathia on the ropes here in the second.
He got him lined up, didn't he? Watch him. Leg kick, head down, and just drive that ball right back through the middle. That is a good sign when he's leveling off those pitches and hitting hard ground balls through the infield. You know what happens next when you start doing that?
Start to lift the ball, and the ball jumps out of the ballpark. You got to get hits first and gain your confidence. Here's Danny Valencia. Valencia with the Twins and the Blue Jays, 4 homers. Breaking ball for a strike. Valencia, of course, is a very good hitter against lefty pitching. For his career, 327 average. He hits 100 points better against lefty pitching than he does against righties.
Yeah, he was right at that average last year, right at 321 for the Blue Jays versus the left-handers. And that's why he's in there.
Back off the glove of Sabathia, and the Blue Jays might have caught a break. They did. CC Sabathia swiped at it and knocked it down, and that eliminated any chance of throwing Valencia out. It's not unlike Chase Headley's hit last night in the 8th inning.
It's exactly like it, because that was going to be a double play, just like last night's ball off of Headley's bat was going to be a double play. Your first reaction from a pitcher when he lets go of it and he sees one coming back at him, swipe at it, try and do something with it and turn a double play. Sabathia has that one go off of his glove. You can see Gregorius, the shortstop, he was going to make that play and probably finish it off with a double play, but the Blue Jays get a break. Bases loaded and nobody out. Another hit for Valencia against a lefty.
Kevin Pillar, 3 for 8 so far this season. Bases loaded, nobody out. Sabathia had a quick inning in the first, 3 up, 3 down with a couple of strikeouts. 3 straight hits to start the second. Pillar goes after that pitch up and away. "53 games with the Blue Jays a year ago. Pillar has 2 career home runs against lefty pitching. There's a base hit to left field. Encarnacion's going to come in to score. Donaldson will stop at third, and the Blue Jays have strung together 4 hits. That's Kevin Pillar's father, Mike, appreciative of that RBI single. The Pilar family enjoying their stay in New York. That's the 5th hit Kevin has in this series.
Well, one of the things that he has done, I think a little bit different from last year, is he's shortened up his swing. That hardly any stride. He picks up that front foot, he lays it down, a line drive to left field, and Dad says, get up, get out into the outfield for an RBI single. Blue Jays, nickel and diamond, CC Sabathia right now. 4 straight singles.
What do they say in the Blue Jays dugout? He hit it like you threw it. This is Steve Tollison getting his first start of the season.
Gibby was talking before the game that they don't know when they're going to see another left-hander. It's going to be a while, he said. So he's got to get Tollison and Valencia in there.
That's off the end of the bat. Teixeira will go to first. A run will come in to score. Tollison is out at first, but he'll pick up the RBI as Donaldson scampered home. That ball was cued off the end of the bat, and the Blue Jays have scored 2 here in the second.
Well, that served a couple of purposes, didn't it? It wasn't hit that hard. It got the runner in, and it got the other runners moved up with less than 2 outs. So high fives all the way around for Steve Tollison as he picks up his first RBI. And now the hottest hitter in the Blue Jays steps in.
The rookie Devin Travis. Travis hit his first big league home run here on Monday afternoon. Finished up 1 for 2 in that game. Had 2 more hits last night. Boy, he looks comfortable at the plate, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's got a nice stance. He's very balanced at the plate. You don't see a whole lot of movement. We call these guys hands hitters. They use their hands to hit, so they're tough to strike out.
Went after that pitch down and away, and he got a little bit over anxious. Devin Travis has hit well throughout his minor league career. He's got a .323 minor league average. He's just 24 years old. He won the starting second baseman's job with a good spring.
Another pitch away from him, and he just fouls it off. Because CC Sabathia is not throwing like he used to, and I mean 96, 97, up in the zone with that fastball. As a hitter, I think the best way to approach him is think about using the middle of the field. He's going to try and get you with changeups, backdoor sliders, backdoor breaking balls. Think middle of the field.
That's off the end of the bat. That's going to score another run. Travis picks up an RBI as Valencia comes in. You talk about having some good at-bats. This lineup has done a good job. That's the Travis family, and Evans had a good series against New York. He drives in the 3rd run of the inning.
And there you go. You think about the middle of the field like that, especially in that situation with less than 2 outs. The infield is playing back. A ground ball to the middle of the diamond with 2 strikes is going to get a run and get yourself an RBI. Good idea. Good piece of hitting right there by the youngster.
Throughout these 3 games against the Yankees to open up the season, bottom third of the order has done a good job.
They have started rallies. They have finished rallies.
I'll tell you one thing. Top of the order is not going to be a problem. I don't care how they have started. But, boy, when you get contributions from 7, 8, 9, you're going to have a terrific offense. Reyes has a chance to put a real capper on this inning. Pilar's at 3rd, 2 outs. Devin Travis picks up another RBI. He's got 3 already in this young season. Base hit through the right side. Pilar comes in to score. Reyes gets into the act. A 4 spot here in the second against CC Sabathia.
That is something that they haven't done in this series, is cash those guys in with 2 outs. Here we're just talking about going the other way or hitting the ball back through the middle against CC. That's exactly what Jose did right there, Reyes.
Blue Jays before this game in the series just 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position. Reyes picks up his first RBI of the season. This is a different CC Sabathia that Joe Girardi is watching this season. And you can see Sabathia signed with the Yankees in 2008, but since 2011, that velocity has dropped dramatically.
There's a lot of pitches and there's a lot of innings in that left arm for CC Sabathia over his major league career. And you can see over the last 4 years that velocity is just going down. Scouts know it, players know it, and I think you can just think about the middle of the field, still turn on his fastball.
CC Sabathia is third in innings pitched among active pitchers. He's thrown 2,826 innings coming into this start. 2 outs. Russell Martin grounded to short his first time up. Martin is the 8th man to bat. Talk about making a quick adjustment. The Blue Jays have done that against Sabathia.
Well, think about where the hits have gone against CC. Encarnacion went to right field, Donaldson to center field. Valencia's hit was up the middle. The ground out was up the middle by Travis. Base hit by Reyes the other way. Good approach this inning against Sabathia.
Reyes broke at first. He may have slipped a little bit, and he wasn't really happy with it. He had a pretty good jump. It looked like he got a good jump and read it well, but then he didn't like his break and shut it down. Of course, Reyes had 30 steals a year ago. Watch his break at first.
It's still soft. They watered down this field before the ball game here. It's still very soft on the infield and damp.
So Martin caught looking at strike 3. That's the 3rd strikeout for Sabathia, but the Blue Jays put up 4 runs in their half of the second. Everybody getting into the act.
The Blue Jays at second base opening day?
No, I didn't. I thought he'd probably be down in AAA, and we were very excited about that. So we got family and friends in Buffalo, so we were looking forward to it because this is just a dream. We didn't think it was going to happen.
Tell me about the conversation when Devin called you to say, Dad, I made the team.
Oh, my God, it was the funniest thing. He surprised me for my birthday. So he came home,
Go Yankees!
And then the next day I had to drive him back over. So I think I dropped him off like, say, 7:30 in the morning. And he said, Dad, I'll call you and let you know. So I went back home to the hotel. You know, I'm just sitting around pacing back and forth wondering. So I guess it was 9:30 around that 10 o'clock he called. And he's like, Dad. I'm like, what? He said, I wanted to call you earlier, but I couldn't because they didn't want to let it out. And he said the press was like kind of following him, so it was like a secret. And I'm like, man, you're killing me. Tell me. He was like, Dad, I made it. And I just started jumping up and down in the hotel.
And some more jumping when he hit a home run. That must have been one of the greatest moments of your life.
Yeah, it was so awesome. Yeah, he didn't hit a home run all season. The whole entire spring, never hit a home run. To hit one in Yankee Stadium is like, it's just a dream. You know, I'm living the dream, his dream.
I keep telling him the dream has just begun, and I'm sure it has for you. Tony, thank you so much for joining us, and have a lot of fun watching Devin this year.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. He's a happy man, Buck, and he has reason to be.
Boy, he sure does, Barry. That's terrific, and you can see the joy in Tony Travis's face when he was explaining the story about hearing the news that his son had made the Blue Jays opening day roster. That's great. This is a special group of players, this entire team. And they have really come together as a team. And from Dalton Pompey, who roomed with Devin Travis in spring training, and Norris and Osuna and Castro and Hutchison, it's a pretty terrific group of players. High pop-up. Remember, the wind is blowing in from left. Reyes stays with it, and everybody was helping him out battle that wind. That was a real problem last night for the Blue Jays, as they had 2 pop-ups fall in fair territory here last night.
Yeah, one down the left field line, one down the right field line. Not as windy tonight. At least it doesn't feel like it now at the beginning of this game. Reyes stayed with this one to finish what you were just saying about all the young players. I love having all the young players here. You can just feel the excitement and the enthusiasm of the youngsters here as they get their feet wet at the big league level.
Alex Anthopoulos in the front office did a terrific job of turning over the roster. They brought in a lot of new guys, and Donaldson and Martin and Saunders and Smoke, of course, and Marco Estrada, but the youngsters that they promoted. And it's created so much enthusiasm. Joe Torre, the great manager of the Yankees, always talked about that. You know, Torre took his team to the playoffs 12 straight years. I said, Joe, how do you keep the interest up? He says, you got to bring in new people. People that haven't won before. And when you do that, the guys that have won are saying, hey, I guess this is pretty special.
And why not teach the young guys the proper way to play the game?
Absolutely. Bring them up here and surround them with guys like Bautista and Encarnacion and Martin and Donaldson. And if they can't handle it, you got the wrong guys.
Yep.
This is Chase Headley, the switch-hitting third baseman. You know, Headley, talking about winning, he came over to the Yankees last year from San Diego, and I asked him, my boy, Chase, you signed quickly in the offseason. He said, I want to win. He said, the Yankees are all about winning. He said, I played 7 years in the majors and haven't been to the postseason. He said, I had no doubts about wanting to come back here and play for the Yankees.
That's the arc, isn't it, though, of a player, his career. You want to get to the big leagues, and then you want to make enough money to make yourself comfortable. And then after you've been in the big leagues, like a Chase Headley, you want to start winning. And the Yankees, of course, have been great winners over the last 20 or so years. So why not take your chances?
Norris walks Chase Headley with 1 out. That's something you don't want to do. Your club has just given you a 4-spot top half of the inning. Come on out, put up a 0. You notice Norris not wearing any long sleeves here tonight, and it's pretty nippy here in Yankee Stadium.
He won't have to ice his arm after the game because he's icing it during the game.
This is the left fielder, Chris Young. Russell Martin comes right back with a first pitch changeup after the walk to get ahead of Chris Young. Martin has really done a nice job learning this pitching staff. Bouncing ball, that's going to go into foul territory. Daniel Norris, we mentioned he's from Johnson City, Tennessee. That is just over 600 miles southwest of here. Johnson City is in the northeast corner of Tennessee. Marlo Hale working with Russell Martin here. That's a great perspective. Catchers look into the dugout, generally to the bench coach, to get the running game defense. Change up and another strikeout. Young goes down on strike, swinging at that off-speed pitch. That's 3 strikeouts for Daniel Norris.
Well, the Yankee hitters, they've never seen Norris before, so they're trying to get a gauge on what he throws. He's got a good breaking ball, good changeup. You can see he's been really rubbing up the baseballs. It's raw here. It's very cold, so the baseballs get very slippery.
Well, you know what it's like when it's cold. Your hands get very dry, and they do get slick, so pitchers are always trying to get a better grip on that baseball. You'll remember Michael Pineda of the Yankees last year got a better grip on the baseball using that pine tar. got him in trouble.
Got a little extra help, didn't he?
This is the backup catcher, J.R. Murphy. Murphy got into 32 games a year ago with New York. He's the quintessential backup catcher in that he can really catch and throw. And he is going to back up Brian McCann, of course. And Joe Girardi, being a catcher himself, appreciates the value of your backup catcher. You got to get him back there and get the best out of the starter that night.
One of the last players to make the Yankees. He beat out Austin Romine for the backup catcher's job.
Romine was out of options too, and they had to let him go. Joe Girardi knows they got away with one last night. He said, boy, that was a fortunate win to come back with 3 runs in the 8th inning, and the Yankees did it. Blue Jays helped them.
A couple of hit batters, a walk.
How about that? Inside fastball, couple more strikeouts. 2 strikeouts in each of the first 2 innings. A 1-out walk. The Yankees strand a runner at first. No weakness in his approach, and when you're talking about hitting home runs, Bautista covers everything in the strike zone.
Well, he's a smart hitter, and he can sense what you're trying to do to him. If you're pitching him away, he can shoot the ball the other way, but you better not throw one right down the middle or middle in and down, because he can really smoke the ball out of the ballpark. This is his home run heat map. Everything center cut and down and in.
Off the plate, he goes after that first pitch, another changeup from CC Sabathia.
That is what he has seen now for 3 straight days here in New York from these Yankee pitchers. A lot of off-speed pitch. I think they're trying to mess up his timing with that leg kick. You can see he's hanging out on that back leg a long time, throwing those off-speed pitches, trying to mess up his timing.
He has 7 strikeouts in this series. Bautista will get it going, there's no question about that, but everybody wants to get off to a decent start. And when you look back to spring training, you say, oh my goodness, Bautista's on fire. He hit .319 in the spring with 6 homers. Encarnacion is next. Donaldson top step, keeping a close eye on CC Sabathia. Another strikeout. This time that fastball upstairs. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Not a good start for the former Blue Jay, Paul Molitor, who is the manager of the Minnesota Twins. And boy, those Tigers got off a good start with the bat. 7 runs on 10 hits again today.
So you get Price, Anibal Sanchez, and then who for Detroit?
Today it was Green.
Shane Green?
Shane Green, the former Yankee.
Jeez. Paulie, you sure you want to manage?
Yeah. Had a nice life as a Hall of Famer. I tell you what, it is no walk in the park, and I can speak from experience. This is Edwin Encarnacion. He started the big second inning with an opposite field single. Scored the first run of the ball game. 4-0 Jays. Boy, there's what you brought up earlier. They throw an inside pitch. It's a fastball, 89 miles an hour. But Edwin didn't even have to move.
Yeah.
It wasn't intimidating, and he's looking out over the plate for something soft.
Look out over the plate, and I think if he throws one in there, you can still pull it. So that comes right back. Change up, down, and away.
He's got him zeroed in right now. Sabathia won the Cy Young in 2007 for the Cleveland Indians. He went 19-7 that season through 241 innings. Sabathia is a 6-time All-Star. He has 208 wins. He is one behind the great Vida Blue. He had 209. That would tie him. A win would tie him with Blue for 24th all-time by a left-handed pitcher. 3-2. He waves at that breaking ball, and Encarnacion strikes out. Sabathia, we mentioned how he got off to a great start. He signed with the Yankees as a free agent in 2008. But his last 15 starts, they haven't been very good. They had some knee problems. He addressed that in the offseason, and he's got a little more weight on now. This is basically the weight he's pitched at for most of his career.
Yeah, he's always been a big guy. He lost a lot of weight last year, and then he had the knee problem. So he's put on some more weight, just like he did when he was younger. He's big, 6'7" and about 260 pounds, a lot like Michael Pineda. But he has been one of the best winners since he has entered the league. Last season, just 8 starts, the fewest starts in his highest ERA of his career for CC. It was the first time he did not have a winning record in his 14 big league seasons.
He came into the majors as a 20-year-old and really got off to a great start. 2001 was his first season. He picked a bad year to be a prominent rookie. He finished second to Ichiro Suzuki in the Rookie of the Year voting.
Then he wins something like 17 games or something like that his rookie year.
And he got to hang with him. CC Sabathia was traded after his Cy Young season in Cleveland. He went from Cleveland to the Milwaukee Brewers and really pitched well for the Brewers down the stretch.
Got him in the playoffs. That's why they picked him up, got him into the playoffs, and that didn't last long. Became a free agent.
Became a free agent, signed with the Yankees, and got a boatload of money. Sabathia is from Vallejo, California. That is in the San Francisco Bay Area, north end of San Francisco Bay. Pulled on the ground to short. Didi Gregorius throws it to first, and Teixeira takes care of it. The Blue Jays go quietly in the third, but they got the Sabathia in the second and lead it 4-0.
Opening series presented by Honda. The Tampa Bay Rays make a stop at Rogers Center April 13th to 16th. The Honda home opener is sold out, but if you'd like tickets for the remainder of the series, you can do so by calling 416-341-1234 or BlueJays.com. Buck, one man who has tickets for all 3 games is Tony Travis. Have you ever seen a father as proud as that man was?
No, absolutely not. A lot of the Blue Jays young players' families have traveled around. We saw them in Montreal. They are here in New York, and some of them plan to go to Baltimore as well. I know Aaron Sanchez's family's going to Baltimore because he's going to pitch on Saturday. It's Gregorio Petit, the second baseman. Devin Travis gobbles it up quickly. Daniel Norris was drafted and developed by the minor league system, and a guy that was a big part of that was Dane Johnson. And we asked him about Norris and some of the adjustments he had to make.
He had some mechanical timing issues that we needed to clean up in his direction of home plate. He's worked extremely hard at it with some of our pitching coaches down there. We got a plan together. Danny bought in. He was all for it. He didn't see success right away with the numbers. We told him not to worry about the numbers. What was, his ERA, runs, hits, and all the other stuff. He was struggling in that regard. But as time went on and the process evolved and the delivery evolved to what it is today, he's really put a lot of things together. And I think he's reaping the benefits of that right now.
He certainly is reaping the benefits, but it is very unusual for a youngster to come into an organization and stick with a plan. Dane Johnson was the pitching coordinator when Norris signed. That's a hot shot off the bat of Ellsbury. Gregorius, the shortstop, and he grounds out 6-3 on the out. But when you have a high draft pick like Norris, he was your second-round pick. He's obviously had a lot of success as a high school pitcher. And you're telling him, son, we got to rebuild your whole approach. I mean, that's a hard thing to hear.
And don't worry about your numbers. Basically, he's saying, don't worry about, you're probably going to fail, but it's the right way to do it. And to Daniel's credit, he ate and drank it up, didn't he? What the Blue Jays had to offer.
He sure did. His first stop in professional baseball was Bluefield, West Virginia. He went 2-3. with a 797 earned run average. He made 10 starts and appeared in 11 games. A lot of young pitchers would panic and say, I'm not sticking with that stuff. But Pete Walker and the rest of the pitching coaches and coordinators in the organization loved his arm quickness, and liked his pitchability. He can really make adjustments. We saw that in the spring. When his changeup was cutting an awful lot, they asked him to turn over the changeup, make it run away from right-handed hitters. It took him about 45 minutes to adjust.
And he figured it out. But again, he's able to recognize what he has to do. It's like taking a young hitter and saying, okay, you are successful in high school, but you can't hit like that to be successful. How many times have you seen young guys go, well, what are you talking about? I've always hit like this.
There's the first hit for the Yankees. Ellsbury continues to wear out Blue Jay pitching.
But you put your faith in the coordinators and the instructors that the Blue Jays have in the minor league system, figure that they know and they've been around long enough that they can help you, and you're starting to see it. A lot of it has to do with mechanics. Dane, I was talking to him in Montreal about his arm swing, that he had a long arm swing and how he started and throwing across his body. They're trying to straighten that out. He's not a finished product, Daniel Norris. I think you're going to see strides being taken and he can go to the next level. But there's no question he's got outstanding stuff. This is what I mean about throwing across his body. You can see where that front foot is. It's over towards the first base side, and you can't clear your hips, and you can't get full extension when you throw like that, when you throw across your body.
Another changeup, and Norris is quickly ahead of Alex Rodriguez.
But it certainly talks a lot about the talent that he has, that if they square that kind of thing out and it frees up his lower half, he can throw harder and he can throw free and it'll take a little bit more stress off that arm.
DeMarlo Hale in the dugout. Blue Jays lead at 4-0. Alex Rodriguez, the DH, batting second tonight. There goes Ellsbury. Russell Martin, a quick throw, and he's got him right on the money. Martin really got his feet working quickly, and I mean his body was in position when that ball touched his glove, and he turned it around and threw a strike to second.
How about the tag by Devin Travis on the other end? A little up there, bam, down, and got him.
Audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details.
Russell Martin behind the plate really got himself into great throwing position to gun down Jacoby Ellsbury. Watch his body as he shifts in position. He drops that right leg behind him, and look how quickly he gets his body in motion to make the throw.
And gets everything on the throw. It's accurate. It's low to the ground. I watch him in between innings. Every throw is the same. He never takes any time off in between innings when he's making that throw down to second base. And then the tag on the other end by Devin Travis, quick hands, boom, down and right into the dirt to get Ellsbury.
Russell Martin caught 39% of the base stealers last year. He nails a very good one when he threw out Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury caught just 5 times all season a year ago. Valencia fouls that off the end of the bat. It's a ball and a strike to the first baseman. Danny Valencia had a good spring for the Blue Jays. He was working with a new hitting coach, and he gets caught on that inside pitch. It's 1-2. Valencia hit .357 for the Jays in the spring, working with Brooke Jacoby on the left and the assistant hitting coach Eric Owens on the right. They are a very quiet tandem. Breaking ball for a strikeout. That's 6 strikeouts for CC Sabathia. 1 down in New York. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Well, you look at that Red Sox lineup. Hanley Ramirez 2 for 2 again tonight. Victorino 2 for 2. Bogarts with the home run, or the triple, 3 RBIs, and they've got a potent lineup.
Where's Bogarts hitting?
Bogarts is, yeah, he's in the 8th spot. Yeah. Of course, the pitcher's hitting in Philadelphia, Masterson.
That's all I need to know about how deep their lineup is.
Kevin Pillar drove in the first run of the ball game, had a base hit. Sabathia now has 6 strikeouts, but boy, he ran into a buzzsaw in the second. 4 runs on 5 hits for the Blue Jays.
You know, and to his credit, here's another strikeout. Since that last hit by Reyes, he has now struck out 5 of the next 6 batters. Throwing a few more fastballs.
Well, you don't hang around as long as CC Sabathia does without being aware. And he said, you know, I got to change something up. Blue Jays jumped on him, and after that RBI single by Reyes, he has really done a great job.
Before this game, which is his first game of the season, he was talking about his spring, and his spring wasn't very good. We chronicled that a little bit at the beginning. And he was saying, you know, I felt good. I had a good feel for my fastball. I was throwing out in front, meaning that he was getting extension on his pitches, which is always important. And he put his fastball in good spots, and that's pitchability. The only thing that wasn't there was the velocity we saw a few years ago, and I don't even know if that's ever going to come back. But his pitchability certainly is there.
Yeah, and he's aware of how you get hitters out. I mean, he's not wrapped up to the radar gun, that's for sure. Steve Tallison picked up an RBI his first time up. Tallison making his first start in left field for the Blue Jays. Tallison started 6 games in left field for the Orioles in 2012. John Gibbons used him a lot in spring training. In fact, there were times when he had Jonathan Diaz, Ryan Goins, and Steve Tallison in the outfield. Might have been the shortest outfield in baseball history.
He's another strikeout victim.
CC Sabathia has settled down nicely. He strikes out the side in the 4th. Blue Jays have a 4-0 lead behind Daniel Norris.
Who loves baseball, it is Blue Jays Fantasy Camp, November 15th through 20th in Dunedin, Florida. Join Roberto Alomar, George Bell, Jesse Barfield, and many more for the ultimate Major League experience. Package includes airfare, hotel, meals, uniform, and 4 days of baseball. Spots are limited. Go to bluejays.com/fantasy camp. And speaking of big baseball fans, look who's sitting front row behind home plate, fellas, enjoying the game despite the weather, Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon, Lorne Michaels, and they might want to sign up for the Blue Jays Fantasy Camp. Lorne Michaels, of course, from Canada, Toronto. Jimmy Fallon, of course, the very popular late-night TV host. And did you get your invitation to the Blue Jays Fantasy Camp?
Not yet.
You didn't?
I think it got lost in the mail.
Yeah, neither did I. I'm surprised. You know, you're a veteran of Cleveland Indians fantasy camps and have done that forever.
Buck, my whole life's a fantasy, so I'm living the fantasy.
Well, that fantasy camp is a great idea. I'm glad the Blue Jays brought it back, and both you and I have participated in those fantasy camps. They're a lot of fun. Daniel Norris facing Alex Rodriguez. He struck out 8 around the first time up.
Both of these pitchers mixing speeds, aren't they? Basically, Fastball, changeup, breaking ball. That's what we're seeing from Sabathia and Norris tonight.
Well, I tell you what, and both catchers are having a lot of fun. When you got pitchers out there that can execute pitches, it's like you got a great toolbox. Hey, how about one of these? Throw me one of those. And there's a changeup again. And I can speak from experience. When you have a pitcher that can execute his pitches, you can carve up a lineup.
Like a painter, right? Let me put a little bit here. Let me put a little bit there. You can see Russell Martin thinking over what he wants to do to Alex Rodriguez here.
He wanted that breaking ball away and missed. Second walk issued by Norris. And you know what? There are many publications around that evaluate prospects. And Baseball America gave us a list of their top 20 rookies. And you can see where the Blue Jays fit. They have 3 players in the top 15.
You know what's impressive about this list? Not that there's 3 Blue Jays on it right here, but those guys were just an A-ball. And they zoomed way up that list on the strength of what they did last season. Dalton Pompey started, I believe, in Dunedin last year and ended up in the big leagues.
Both Pompey and Daniel Norris started in A-ball, and they jumped 4 levels and got to the big leagues in September. The Blue Jays did a terrific job of promoting their youngsters last year. Kendall Graveman, who was included in the trade to Oakland that brought Donaldson back, he made 4 steps too. And they just kept promoting guys. And to their credit, each time the front office had a decision to make, they kind of looked at the player and said, well, he looks like he's ready for the next level.
Mm-hmm. We've got a couple out in the bullpen who were in A-ball last year.
Miguel Castro, Roberto Osuna, 2 20-year-olds, and they have already gotten their major league debuts out of the way. And we heard from the manager, John Gibbons, in his pregame press scrum that he's going to use Castro and Osuna in late inning situations. There's a base hit. Beltran hits it down the left field line, and Rodriguez is making the turn. He is headed for third, and he'll get there with a slide. A leadoff walk in a double. Beltran with the second Yankee hit of the night.
The Yankees have something going here in the 4th inning. Second time through now the lineup. Let's see the Yankees make adjustments to Daniel Norris. His ball is down in the left field corner. Steve Tollefson gets over. Gets that ball in, and really no chance to get A-Rod at third base. So second and third and nobody out.
This is Mark Teixeira, popped out to the shortstop in his first at bat. That changeup now, he has buried it in the dirt in the last couple of batters.
Again, second time through now for the Yankees. He hasn't retired a batter. 3 batters into the second time through.
Ellsbury singled with 2 outs in the third, was caught stealing. The next batter, Rodriguez, starting this inning, walked, and Beltran's doubled. Line to Donaldson, and he has no play. Another hard hit ball. This time right at the third baseman, and Teixeira is shaking his head as he walks back to the dugout.
Boy, the ball was hit so hard. Young Davin Travis at second base couldn't react to it. Donaldson does. He was thinking about going to second base, but Devin wasn't there. Watch him. Takes a couple of steps, and he's just not there, so Donaldson has to eat the ball. That ball was hit right on the button.
Chase Headley walked his first time up.
These tight situations right here. Second and third, no outs, and now 1 out. Young pitchers tend to try to throw harder or try to do too much, and that's when they really get into trouble. Concentrate on just hitting your spots and making pitches. Don't think about overthrowing or trying to do too much right here.
This is the second time Norris has pitched in Yankee Stadium. He came in relief last September on the 21st of September, pitched an inning. actually gave up a home run to Brian McCann, the left-handed hitting catcher. And now he falls behind 3-0. These Yankees, they have pedigree. They're all about coming back. John Gibbons knows that. And you see him reminding Russell Martin, hey, he might be swinging here, 3-0.
Got nothing to lose. Wouldn't shock me if he's swinging.
Looked like he was taking all the way. It's now 3-1. Chris Young is on deck, right-handed bat. CC Sabathia trailing 4-0. Blue Jays touched him up for 4 runs in the second. Norris right back to a 3-2 count now.
Went right after him right there with a fastball. See if he's got some confidence in an off-speed pitch here, 3-2. You've got a base open to work with. There's 1 out. If you end up walking him, you set up the double play.
I would rather see him throw a fastball here.
Would you?
I think he's thrown a lot of off-speed pitches with 2 strikes. Another breaking ball with 2 strikes. He's got enough fastball, and we've seen him command it. Look how all those pitches are away. I mean, this pattern of pitches to me suggests inside fastball. Tie him up.
Try and lock him up. Try and paint that inside part of the plate. This is where we were talking last inning about throwing across your body. This is where it's hard to get that ball into a right-hander if you're a left-handed pitcher.
Changeup. How about that? Russell Martin thought there were 3 outs, and Norris was right on top of it. Norris knew that was only the 2nd out of the inning. Martin was on his way to the dugout, and Norris broke to cover home.
Heads-up play by young Daniel Norris. Watch this. It's a changeup, and that locks up Chase Headley. Russell thinks it's 3 outs. He starts towards the dugout. And watch Daniel Norris saying, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Nobody's covering home. Quickly reminding his catcher that's only 2 outs.
We have 6 rookies on this team, and having watched them all spring long, they're all baseball players. Yes. Every one of them. I don't care how young they are. They are aware. Chris Young goes after that first pitch and swings right through it. Young struck out his first time up. It was Young that came off the bench in last night's game, got a leadoff bloop double down the right field line, and that started everything for the Yanks.
Came off the bench, just out of the reach of Devin Travis to get it going.
There's that fastball. Pushed him off the plate with the heater. And now Russell Martin, he's got all sorts of options. You can go double up inside, or you can throw curveball, changeup. You got a lot of things to work with.
He's a good fastball hitter, Chris Young.
That's a pop-up. Wind is blowing it around. Travis stays with it, makes the catch, and Daniel Norris gets out of it. The Blue Jays get out of it. They'll take a 4-0 lead into the 5th. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zorn.
Canada 4 choices of nationally televised games. Start your Saturday with Hockey Central Saturday at 6:30. Then it's the Canadians and Leafs on CBC. Later, the Oilers and Canucks. Visit sportsnet.ca/schedule for details. It's the final Saturday night of the regular season. But guys, it feels like hockey weather here at Yankee Stadium tonight.
It's certainly warmer in the rink than it is out here, that's for sure. And I tell you what, there's no problem with ice melting around New York. This is Devin Trouse, the number 9 hitter, CC Sabathia. We've seen this from Sabathia in the past, where he gets rocked early and settles down and will pitch his team right back into the ballgame.
I remember a game here a few years ago. You're right, he got rocked. He started using his changeup and his breaking ball just a little bit more, and he ended up pitching a complete game.
Yankees stormed back after an early deficit, and Sabathia hung in there. This is his 170th start as a Yankee. There's a fly ball. This is trouble down the left side. It is hooking foul into the seats. Devin Travis taking a shot at home run number 2. Got out in front of it a bit, and it hooked foul. This young man's got a little pop in his bat. He hasn't hit a lot of home runs in the minors, but boy, we can see those ringing line drives. We've seen them all spring long.
Again, a hands type of hitter, not a lot of movement at the plate, short swing, and that slider down and in. All you have to do is catch it out in front. So Sabathia comes back with a high fastball. Blue Jays have seen enough of Sabathia over the years. For his career, he's got an outstanding one-loss record. 15-4, and that earned run average just over 3 all time versus the Blue Jays.
He is 8-1 against the Jays as a Yankee. Of course, he gets to face them more now that he's in the AL East. Sabathia 43-19 pitching at home in pinstripes. John Gibbons has seen way too much of CC Sabathia.
Yeah. Just 3 wins last year, one of them against the Blue Jays, and that kept a streak going for CC Sabathia.
Sabathia has beaten the Blue Jays at least once in 11 straight seasons. It's a remarkable accomplishment, especially given the fact he started out in the Central Division with the Indians. Pat, talk a little bit about a pitcher reading the bats, because Sabathia has done that very effectively tonight.
Yeah, when you got to work with your catcher also. Catcher's got to be able to read bats also. You know how you feel as a pitcher and where you're throwing the ball, and if you can see if the guy's getting to your breaking ball or if he's getting to your fastball as that ball is popped up to Teixeira on the infield, you then as a pitcher say, okay, he's getting to my fastball in the inner half. Well, I got to change speeds. I got to throw something off speed, or I've got to throw something up in the strike zone. And Sabathia has taken all that knowledge of his 14 years in the big leagues, and I think he has made that adjustment here after that second inning when he gave up those 4 runs.
Jose Reyes was the last Blue Jay to reach base. That came with 2 outs in the second. Sabathia has set down 8 straight hitters. Reyes goes the other way, but it's into the seats.
And again, for young pitchers where they're not real familiar about reading bats, if you see batters getting to your pitches, what's your first inclination? Reach back and throw harder, right? Well, sometimes it's better to step off the gas just a little bit and mess up the timing.
Foul into the glove of J.R. Martin. You saw Aaron Sanchez in the dugout trying to stay warm. He'll make his first major league start on Saturday. Saturday night in Baltimore against Ubaldo Jimenez. Middle game of the 3-game series. Reyes reaches and pokes that ball foul back to the screen. The Yankees will welcome in the Boston Red Sox after the Blue Jays leave. It'll be Uvalde and Wade Miley opening it up tomorrow night right here at Yankee Stadium. Off the end of the bat, that's going to sneak through into center. Reyes broke his bat, but picks up his second hit of the night.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Jose Reyes is going to be using the middle of the diamond, which I think is smart. Change up down and away. You can see he's got plate coverage, breaks that bat, but gets himself a base hit. And this might be a good time for him if his legs are feeling pretty good to try and steal his first bag of the season.
He's been on base twice. He is 2 for 3. And he's stretching out over there at first. Not going here. Martin takes one off the plate inside. Ball on the strike.
Louis Rivera going through the signs. Jose Reyes has the green light over there at first base. If he can get a jump and he gets a read off of CC Sabathia, he can go anytime he wants.
Blue Jays just won't chase that pitch inside. They have been vulnerable to the breaking balls and low pitches out over the plate, but they won't offer it that inside fastball. Encarnacion is in the hole. Bautista is on deck. 2 balls and his strike. Reyes. There he goes. Martin fouls it off. Reyes had a good jump.
He had a good jump and he had a good pitch to run on. It was a changeup, just 83 miles an hour. Too good to pass up for Russell Martin as he fouls that one off. But Reyes thinking right along with the Yankees. Steals on a 2-1 changeup.
Reyes has 455 career steals. That's third on the active stolen base leaderboard. Bouncing ball, big hop to Headley. Second for 1, back to first, double play. Reyes with the 1-out single is erased on the 5-4 street double play. We move to the bottom of the 5th. Blue Jays still clinging to that 4-run lead.
Season. Register now for Sportsnet's Stanley Cup Playoff Fantasy Hockey Pool. It's free and easy to play. Visit sportsnet.ca/fantasy for details. And here's a hint, Buck, do not pick any Maple Leafs for your fantasy team.
Come on, Barry, that's the hometown team. What's up with that?
What's he talking about?
You can always pick some Penguins. They'll be hanging around. And, of course, Chris Dahl, the cameraman at first base, comes from Pittsburgh. So we got to hear about the Pirates and the Penguins a lot. But that's okay. They're good teams. Bottom of the 5th. Daniel Norris continues to baffle the Yankees. Gave up a leadoff walk and a double last inning, but left 2 on base. This ball is drilled to left field, and it's dying quickly. Steve Tollefson has it bounce on the warning track, and J.R. Murphy is going to coast into second with a leadoff double. Tollefson getting a start in left field. This is just his 10th game overall, only his 7th start in left.
And this is a tough field to play in left field. There's a lot of room from the foul line out to center field. It's 399 to left center field. You feel like you've got a whole country that you have to cover out there. And right there, that ball bounced off the warning track for an extra bases.
Leadoff double.
Look at all of that room that you got to deal with. And you're all by yourself out there.
Yeah, it's a tough outfield for regular outfielders to play. This is the second baseman, Gregorio Petit.
You know, and as an infielder, and I can speak from experience on this, when you play the infield, you got a small area that you have to deal with and basically worry about ground balls. You move into the outfield, and you're way far away from home plate. You're the loneliest man out there.
This is popped up right side of the infield as Petit pops out to the second baseman, 1 down.
Make a grand entrance during the DIY Expert Sale, only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
You mentioned playing in the outfield. I played 9 innings in right field in a game in Cleveland's old Municipal Stadium. And I felt like I was a million miles from the action.
Yeah, yeah. You know that saying, out on an island by yourself?
Well, you know that big ballpark, too, how big that ballpark was. You know, there weren't even any fans within 200 yards of where I was.
But I bet you could hear every one of them yelling at you. Huh?
And you talk about an uncomfortable feeling playing out there. The only time I played anything other than catcher. That's an, excuse me, tapper up the third base line. And look at Norris. Gets on it quickly and swipes it into foul territory. Made the contact outside the foul line. Norris is very athletic, obviously, and we have seen a couple times where he bounces off the mound and make plays on those little choppers off the ends of the bat.
You can say that about a lot of these young pitchers that we have seen over the last few years. Marcus Stroman, very athletic. Drew Hutcherson, Aaron Sanchez, now Daniel Norris.
Well, I love the fact that the Blue Jays are pushing the kids. They got talent. And the difference between minor league baseball and Major League Baseball has never been more dramatic than it is right now. 0-2. Base hit up the middle. Pilar is charging the ball. Here comes a throw to the plate. It'll be cut off, and they've got the man picked off. And again, another base running mistake by Didi Gregorius. The Yankees are on the board. Gregorius was thrown out trying to steal third base in the first game of the season, and there he made a base running mistake.
Trying to be a little bit too aggressive, but how about Devin Travis? You can see where he starts. He's in your picture. Now, instead of standing there watching the play develop, he goes behind Gregorius, sneaks in behind him, and finishes off the play. Look at it. He takes 3 steps and now sprints. He knows his job is to get behind that runner just in case it's cut off. He's in the right place, and the Blue Jays get a big out. Heads up play by the youngster.
And a very good play by Danny Valencia starting at first base, and Norris is tremendously competitive, and you can say that's my fault. He hung a breaking ball and allowed Gregorius to drive in the Yankees' first run. But you made a great point, and that was very easily to see where Travis was when the ball went to center and where he ended up.
And how easy is it? And you've seen it before. A guy just stands there, well, it's a base hit. The run's going to score, and we're just going to lob it in to second base. No, he sprinted over to second base, and that's what John Gibbons was talking about when I was asking him about Devin Travis. He says he's got very good baseball instincts. That's an instinctive play right there. You don't stand around on a baseball field. You have a job to do. You got a place to go. His job was to get over to first base, and the Blue Jays got an out because of it.
There's always some place to go. Danny Valencia was the cutoff man, and he was near the mound, center of the diamond. He made a nice heads-up play, looking to see if there was a play at first, and sure enough, it got the Blue Jays the second out of the inning. Especially with Ellsbury at the plate, who's been red hot in this series.
Oh, and then you could just then feel the momentum. 0-2 pitch, hanger, base hits, run scores, runner on first base. No, the bases are clear. You can go back into your windup and try and finish off a very hot hitter in Ellsbury.
John Gibbons has to be pleased with the way his club has played fundamentally. Full count, 2 outs. Excuse me, foul. One more look at that heads-up play.
Here's the turn by Gregorius, and he's a little bit too excited. The pick and the tag. The umpire, Paul Schreiber, right down in that play.
4-1 Blue Jays. Popped up. Donaldson, the third baseman, down on the grass. The ball takes him into foul ground. The Yankees get a run, but it could have been worse. Good defense from the young second baseman.
For daily coverage, headlines, analysis, and schedule, visit sportsnet.ca/Blue Jays or join the conversation at Sportsnet. You can read a lot of great stuff from guys like Shai Davidi.
Shai Davidi, Barry Davis, always working hard before the games and making sure they got all the latest information about Blue Jays and baseball in general. Daniel Norris with 5 innings under his belt. He has a 4-1 lead. Jose Bautista trying to get things going with the bat. I don't think you need to worry about Jose Bautista. Another good season a year ago. Another 100 RBI season for the right fielder. But you know what it's like to start the season. You just hate to go through an extended offer. Get into some bad habits. And both teams are playing in the same weather, obviously, but it can affect players in different ways. It's off the end of the mat. Sabathia scoops it up. Batista's retired. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Of course, the sign there on the outfield wall, the boss, the late George Steinbrenner, who bought this team in the early 70s and turned it into a championship machine. Passed away in 2010.
Brought star players here. That's what he did. He brought stars here.
He sure did, and he wasn't afraid to open up the checkbook. Brought in Catfish Hunter, Reggie Jackson, a lot of terrific players, made trades for players.
You know, he had rules in the minor leagues, and it was very disciplined. You had to wear your pant leg the same way, the right way. You had to have clean shaven, short hair, long socks. I mean, that all built discipline in the minor league system for the Yankees. And he wanted to win. He wanted to establish a winning atmosphere in the minor leagues. So when they finally got to Yankee Stadium, and back in those days, I mean, the old days, the kids would, the minor leaguers would go to other organizations. But when they got to the big leagues, they did it the Yankee way, and it was a winning way.
Isn't it interesting, Cheer, that when people like Sabathia come from other organizations, they fall right in line. No matter how much of a star they have been in the past or where they have played, and, you know, they might wear a beard, might wear a mustache. Come to Yankees, everybody shaves.
Andrew Miller.
Don't even think about it. They just say, I'm going to sign with the Yankees.
He signed his contract and got a razor.
It was gold-plated, of course, but it was a razor.
Cut his hair. Shaved, as Esmiel Rogers is starting to throw now. But that's, even though Mr. Steinbrenner has been gone for 5 years, that still lives here in New York.
Joe Girardi experienced that as a player when he came to the Yankees. And, you know, Girardi was military all the way. He always had the butch haircut, and he was just born to be a Yankee. He takes tremendous pride in himself. And here's another guy, Brett Gardner, who really fits the bill. He was drafted and signed with the Yankees and developed. Bouncing ball, another foul. I spoke to Reggie Jackson, who is here with the Yankees. He's an advisor to the ball club, and he was a big, big fan of George Steinbrenner's. And I asked Reggie what made Steinbrenner such a great owner. He said he wanted championships. Anything less than that wasn't accepted. And if that rubs you the wrong way, you're in the wrong organization.
You're in the wrong town. Winning the American League East, that's nothing. It's all about championships.
Another broken bat, little blooper into left. This Young, a former center fielder, made an easy play of it. 2 down.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Scott's Coated Grass Seed. This spring, build up your outfield, even if you miss a day of watering, with Scott's Coated Grass Seed.
CC Sabathia retires the first 2 Blue Jays here in the 6th. Josh Donaldson 1 for 2 tonight. Pulled on the ground, backhanded it short, long throw and offline. Donaldson will have another hit. The ball gets away as everybody backing up the play. J.R. Murphy, the catcher, was there. Gregorius didn't have much of a chance. That ball took him to the edge of the outfield grass.
Could have swore he was going to jump and throw this ball. We've seen that for 20 years, but he just throws it off target. Teixeira cannot come up with it. Didi Gregorius has some big shoes to fill.
And Derek Jeter, the captain. It's interesting, we asked Girardi about whether or not he had seen Jeter in the spring, and he said nope. He said when he left last year, he wasn't going to come around. He was going to let these Yankee players settle into their new season, and they expect to see Jeter during the course of the year.
That surprised me when he told us that. I thought for sure he might make an appearance in spring training, but that's not his style. I mean, he lives there. I thought for sure he might drive over, but he does everything the right way, and I guess he just didn't want to be a distraction to the Yankees.
That's exactly how he thinks of it. This is Danny Valencia. Single off the pitcher's glove.
Sabathia had a good night. 8 strikeouts. Don't think he has enough to get to 10 tonight. He is the active leader in double-digit strikeouts. He's had 36 in his career. But he is nearing those 100 pitches, and Joe Girardi does not like to overuse his starters, especially early in the season.
Well, and given the last couple of years of Sabathia, he has been banged up, and they want to make sure they keep him as strong as possible.
Well, what he has done tonight's been impressive. 8 strikeouts.
Sabathia is second on the active wins list. He is second to Tim Hudson, who has 214 wins. Sabathia has 208. Bartolo Colon, the only active pitcher to have over 200 wins, and then it's the Blue Jays' Mark Burley sitting on 199. He'll have a chance at 200 tomorrow night in Baltimore. Broken bat, sneaking through the right side. That's a base hit for Valencia. Donaldson headed for third, and Chase Headley missed the ball. Here's Donaldson sliding in safely at home. Josh Donaldson peeked over his shoulder and saw that the throw was headed his way, and he may have distracted Chase Headley, who couldn't put leather on the baseball.
You know, one thing that I've noticed in this series, the Yankee defense has not been very sharp. Headley made 2 or 3 plays on opening day that were questionable. One error, a big error that got the Blue Jays their first run. And now this one right here. Valencia hits the ball to right side. Petit cannot knock it down, keep it in the infield, so Beltran's got a shot at Donaldson. And Chase Headley just misses the ball, and then when he goes to grab it to try and get Donaldson at the plate, he comes up empty. So CC Sabathia's night is finished.
CC Sabathia will leave his club down by 4. Former Blue Jay Esmiel Rogers will face Pilar when we come back. CC Sabathia throws 95 pitches. He goes 5 2/3. He's responsible for Valencia at second. He's allowed 5 runs to this point on 8 hits. Blue Jays former pitcher Esmiel Rogers into the game, his second appearance of the series.
He was claimed off waivers by the Yankees last July 31st, pitching out of the bullpen now. Remember, he got some starts for the Blue Jays. Fastball, breaking ball for Rogers. He's got a good arm. We were talking about that play. Watch Donaldson He looks behind him, and I think he knows he is going to be dead at third base, and gets hit with the baseball.
Well, he sure did, and he looked around to see where that throw was, and then he raised his left arm, almost anticipating that he was going to get hit by that ball. He didn't change his path to third base, and when Chase Headley was set up to make the throw, it hit Donaldson in the rib cage and just bounced away from the third baseman.
He was going straight into second base. Then the ball was not knocked down by Petit, so he rounded second, looked behind him and said, this is not going to be good. And got hit. Tough error for Carlos Beltran.
5-1 Blue Jays. Pops it up behind home plate. Murphy, the catcher, and he makes the catch. Rogers comes in, puts out the fire, but the Blue Jays had a run here in their half of the sixth. They're taking a 5-1 lead behind Daniel Norris.
Best baseball stories. Sign up at nextissue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. And while we have a moment, an update from Dunedin, Florida, where Michael Saunders is making his debut in a rehab game. So far tonight, he is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a walk. But, Buck, I'd imagine the stats don't mean much. The fact that he's playing and he's playing in the outfield is definitely good news for him and the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it sure is. They want to make sure he can play in the outfield when he rejoins his club. You see, Kevin Pillar, he has moved from center to left. Dalton Pompey is into the ballgame defensively. He takes over in center field, and he will bat in the 8th spot of the Blue Jays lineup. Steve Tollefson out of the ballgame. He started, went 0 for 2, and picked up an RBI. It'll be Rodriguez, Beltran, and Teixeira, 2, 3, and 4 for the Yankees. This one is high and deep and gone. Alex Rodriguez, looking like old Alex Rodriguez. He is now 5 home runs from tying the great Willie Mays.
You know, but the first thing you recognize when you see, and the first thing you notice when you watch Alex Rodriguez now is that he's got his legs underneath him. We saw him a couple of years ago, and he was swinging all with his arms. He had the hip problems. He got that fixed via the surgery. He's got his legs underneath him now, and he looks strong.
Well, he is creeping up the leaderboard in all-time home runs. Bonds, Aaron, Ruth, Mays, and now Alex Rodriguez, 5 behind the great Willie Mays.
He looks strong. He's got his base. He's got his legs underneath him, and he's driving the ball out of the ballpark again.
He certainly is pleased to be back on the baseball field. Beltran lifts a fly ball to right. Bautista is right there.
Let's watch it one more time. You can see the leg kick, and he's still quick with his hands. But the difference between Rodriguez now and what we saw a couple of years ago is he's got that lower half to work with now, and you can see the torque and the spin he put on that ball.
He's been swinging the bat well. Initially, we saw him in the spring, and the bat was a little bit slow, but he's got his quickness back. No telling how far back he will come. There's another drive, and this one's got a chance. Pilar at the wall, and Teixeira has gone deep. His first home run, and that will give him 500 RBIs as a Yankee. And when he touches home plate, that will be the 1,000th run he has scored.
And he does it with a home run. He's got that classic sweep swing, if you will, where he sweeps through the ball and lifts it into the air. Watch the reaction from Daniel Norris. High off-speed pitch, and he knows he gave up another one here at Yankee Stadium. Gets the Yankees one run closer.
That's Teixeira and A-Rod going deep here in the 6th. And boy, that Blue Jays run in the top half of the inning is huge. That has allowed them to keep a 2-run lead at the time. Norris pitching into the 6th inning.
Stop the bleeding right now. That's what a young pitcher has to learn. We talked to Drew Hutchison about that all the time. Said it's one of the biggest lessons he's had to learn at the big leagues.
Blue Jays bullpen is up and working. That is Roberto Osuna, who made his major league debut here last night. John Gibbons told us before the game he's going to use Osuna and Castro in meaningful situations. They are not just window dressing, and they're going to get high leverage situations. He said, hey, I got to go with my best people. Well, boy, the Blue Jays gave one away last night, and that hurt.
That hurts, and now they've got to win this game. They've got to figure out a way to stop the Yankees. Another thing that John Gibbons was saying before the game is he'd like to get some of the other relievers into the game. Colt Hines, will probably see him at some point tonight. We might see Redmond.
Well, the Yankees have 4 left-handed batters on the bench. What's wrong with that pitch? Norris wanted it. Martin wanted it. Jerry Meals, a home plate umpire, didn't like it. It's a full count to Chase Headley. He jammed him with that fastball. Easy hop for Donaldson. 2 down.
Well, like right after the home run to Teixeira, did you see Norris? He said, I'm going to give you my best fastball. And he really tied up Chase Headley.
I think as Norris makes more starts in the major leagues, he's going to learn to trust his fastball too. I mean, he can throw all 4 pitches for strikes.
I think he's emptying the tank right here. This is his, probably in all probability, his last inning. So he's emptying the tank, giving his best fastball whatever he's got left.
He's thrown 95 pitches. This is Chris Young. Another good fastball in a good spot. Hit him. Sure enough. That might be it. John Gibbons not wasting any time. He's got Osuna ready, and there's the call to the bullpen. So Norris ran into a little trouble here in the 6th and gave up home run number 655 to Alex Rodriguez, and then Mark Teixeira hit a milestone home run for Teixeira, his 500th RBI as a Yankee. And after he hits Chris Young, Norris is out of the game. So the 21-year-old will turn it over to the 20-year-old. Osuna will come on with the tying run at the plate. Daniel Norris out of the ball game, and a very interested spectator is Roberto Osuna. Comes out of the Blue Jays bullpen to make his second appearance of the season.
We saw Roberto in last night's game. The first batter he faced was Alex Rodriguez. Struck him out. There are his numbers last season in 8 starts. Coming back from an injury, so that's why he only had 8 starts last season. In A-ball, he throws hard. Good fastball and a good changeup. He's got a very good feel for pitching at such a young age.
This is the catcher, J.R. Murphy, who had a leadoff double that came around to score the first Yankee run back in the 5th. Fouled straight back. Roberto Osuna, just 20 years old. Last night he got his first major league strikeout. He struck out Alex Rodriguez, and then he threw out the baseball. He had the ball in his glove and called timeout and said, "I want this for a souvenir." That breaking ball backed up, and Martin looked like he may have been crossed up. He looked out to the mound, and you would like to think if he was indeed crossed up, he'd go talk about it. Watch the catcher's reaction.
He wants the ball down and away. Boy, that certainly did look like he got crossed up.
I think more than anything, it was a hard breaking ball. It backed up, and that's why he looked funny trying to catch it. No problem with that heater.
Or he can carry it in the strike zone, can he? Pitches downhill. We were talking about that in the opening, about being able to carry your fastball, meaning you keep it on the lower part of the strike zone and then you carry it all the way through to the catcher, catching the lower part of the zone.
There's a base hit for Murphy. Young is around second. He's headed for third. The throw will come in to Reyes, the cutoff man. And just like that, the Yankees have the tying run at second. Murphy with his second hit of the night.
Both of them doubles, both of them down the left field line. Change up from Osuna. Right here, they want to get him out in front, but Murphy, it drags back towards the middle of the plate. He stays back on it and drives it over Donaldson's head down into the corner. Good job by Pilar to get over there, cut that ball off, and get it in quickly, keeping that runner Young from scoring.
Colt Hines loosening up. He is one of 3 left-handers the Blue Jays have in their bullpen. He has not pitched in a game this series. Osuna in a jam. This is Stephen Drew pinch hitting for the second baseman, Gregorio Petit. Osuna, you can see he doesn't get rattled. He might get hit, but he's going to be aggressive. He comes right back after the double and throws a first pitch strike.
Poise. He's got some poise. He's been around the game his whole life.
Changeup bounced in the dirt. It is 5-3 Blue Jays. John Gibbons not thinking about last night's loss, but certainly a tough pill to swallow. Yankees scored 3 in the bottom of the 8th. Osuna all spring long has shown us that he can throw strikes inside to left-handed hitters. And quality pitches, 94, 95 miles an hour.
Got to make one right here. He hasn't thrown a breaking ball yet, a slider. And it's probably his 3rd worst pitch right now. It's just an inconsistent pitch for him.
Popped out of play. Fastball changeup combination.
He does have a breaking ball. Yeah, but it's not his best pitch.
That may have been the pitch that Russell Martin got crossed up on and really kind of looked awkward catching it. 1-2. Fastball, big strikeout. How about Osuna? He gets the tying run in scoring position, but strands him. Norris in line for the win. Alex Rodriguez, his first home run since September 20th, 2013. Teixeira backs him up 1 out later. The Yankees have closed the gap.
Yeah, punches.
Fans, Junior J's Saturdays are back, presented by Boston Pizza. Saturday, April 18th, it's the Blue Jays against the Braves, 1:07 p.m. Special price kids tickets in the 200 and 500 level outfield seats. After the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Call 416-341-1234 or BlueJays.com. It wasn't that long ago that Dalton Pompey was likely one of those Junior Jays running around the bases at Rogers Center.
Barry, now he's one of the Junior Jays on the team. As you see, Stephen Drew takes over second base defensively. He pinch hit for the starting second baseman, Gregorio Petit. This is Dalton Pompey leading things off. He entered the game as a defensive replacement in center field. Esmail Rogers came in to retire Kevin Pillar to end the top of the 6th. Pompey started the first 2 games of this series. Ball and a strike to the young center fielder.
I sense, watching Dalton, he could really use a base hit right here. It's like he's pressing just a little bit, wanting to impress and wanting to get himself off to a good start.
I think you're right. And, you know, you and I, of course, we're much older than Dalton. We understand it's a long season and you can't get 2 up or 2 down with a couple of offers. But we saw him really fighting himself in Montreal. Wrapping up the exhibition season, he had a couple of disappointing at-bats in his mind and looked like he was pretty frustrated.
But you know, nothing that a couple of hits won't cure. You forget real quick when you get a couple of knocks.
And you know what? He's young, as we mentioned, and you just think that you got to get a hit every time, and you just don't have the patience to accept the offers, confident that the hits will drop. There's a fly ball to left. Chris Young was shaded toward the line, makes the catch.
The 2015 Honda CR-V is the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Second baseman Devin Travis has been shut out so far. He is 0 for 2, but he picked up an RBI in the second inning. Numbers from a year ago at Double-A. He played in the Tigers system. He was at Erie in Double-A. Hit 10 home runs last season. Shoots one down the right side. This is trouble if it's fair, but it slices foul. Deep down in the right field corner. Boy, he gets a couple of those hits, and he'll really spread the defense out thin.
Yeah, he is the type of hitter that can hit it from foul line to foul line. You just watch him. You watch him take batting practice, and he'll shoot the ball to right field. He'll pull it if he has to, and those are all the things that they do in batting practice. They practice that every single day. Situational hitting. That one looked like it had a chance to drop into that corner for extra bases.
The Blue Jays scored 4 runs on 5 hits off of CC Sabathia in the second. The Yankees scored a single run in the 5th, made it 4-1. Then the Blue Jays got an insurance run to stretch it to 5-1, top half the 6th, and then Alex Rodriguez and Mark Teixeira both went deep to make it 5-3. That's where we stand with the Blue Jays batting here in the 7th. Blue Jays have 5 runs on 8 hits. Travis spoils a pretty good pitch as he stays alive. Barry Davis did a nice job in a conversation he had with Tony Travis, Devin's father. And he talked about when Devin called Tony to tell him he had made the Blue Jays ball club, what an exciting moment it was for a father to have his son share that with him.
First taste of the big leagues, and he's putting an exclamation point on that by having a good start.
There's Tony on the right, and Tony mentioned to Barry Davis that at the start of spring training they felt like Devin would probably start at Buffalo, which wasn't such a bad thing because the Travis family has family in Buffalo, and thought, hey, well, that'd be a nice summer. We'll get to go to Buffalo and see Devin play.
No, this is even better.
This is popped up. Second baseman Stephen Drew makes a one-handed grab. 2 down. Well, we want to remind you, we'll be right back at it tomorrow afternoon from Baltimore. Blue Jays will take on the Orioles. It'll be the Orioles home opener. So take note of the start time. It's 2:30. That's the pregame show. Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn will open things up, and we'll follow them right at the top of the hour.
Did you see who's throwing out the first pitch? Our old buddy, Jim Palmer.
Jim Palmer.
You think he'll stand on the rubber?
Oh, of course he will. The Hall of Famer Jim Palmer, who had such a terrific career with the Orioles. He is now the TV color commentator for the Orioles. But opening day, special anyway. Blue Jays will be part of 3 opening days, of course, this year. Here at Yankee Stadium, and then Baltimore's opener, and then finally their own home opener on Monday against Tampa Bay. But Norris will go to the mound on Friday afternoon. He'll be opposed by the veteran Mark Burley. Esmail Rogers with a 1-1 count on Jose Reyes. Another pop into shallow center. Ellsbury coming quickly and gets there. Rogers has a 1-2-3 inning. Blue Jays down easily in the 7th. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Yanks.
Warming up in the bullpen. He didn't know what the score was, but all he wanted to do was face Alex Rodriguez. This is exactly what he had a chance to do. He struck him out and then threw the ball into the dugout. A lot of people were wondering why. He had a very good reason.
I mean, it was very special. You know, my family was here last night, and I was waiting for my time. And when I struck him out, I grabbed the ball and I threw it to the dugout, and everybody looked at me like, what this guy is doing, you know? And I was like, hey, send me that ball. I'm gonna give it to my mom. And yeah, it was a really good moment, very special for me and my family.
Last night, you saw after the strikeout of Rodriguez, it was on a 2-2 changeup. Russell Martin threw the ball back to the mound to Osuna. He caught it and then calmly asked for time. Waited till the umpire gave time. Then he threw the ball to the dugout. And everybody's like, what's he doing? But he knew exactly what he was doing. It was his first major league strikeout.
His first big league strikeout against a pretty good major league hitter. And Alex Rodriguez, bases loaded and just one out. He threw it about 92 miles an hour towards the dugout. But they got it.
Well, Roberto understands what baseball traditions are. His father pitched professionally in Mexico for 22 years. And Roberto's uncle, Antonio Osuna, pitched 11 years in the major leagues, including some time here with the Yankees.
I like how he called timeout and he waited for the umpire to grant him the timeout, and they fired the ball into the dugout, but he's got it, and that'll go up on the trophy case.
Number 9 hitter is Didi Gregorius. Gregorius singled and knocked in the first Yankee run in the 5th, but then strayed too far around the bag at first and was tagged out. 2-0. You certainly don't want to allow the leadoff man to reach and turn the lineup over. You've got the red-hot Jacoby Ellsbury on deck. So he pours in that strike. Ellsbury has singled again tonight. He reached base all 4 times in last night's game after opening up 0-for-4 in the opener. Ball 3. Daniel Norris started, went 5 2/3. He was charged with 3 runs, all earned on 6 hits. A leadoff walk. Never a good thing.
Well, you're right. It turns the lineup over, and you get a hot hitter coming up representing the tying run, and then the power right behind him. So some decisions, I think, for John Gibbons. Does he stay with the young right-hander? He's got double barrel action in the pen.
Liam Hendricks and Colt Hines. Hendricks the right-hander, Hines the left-hander. Hines appears to be ready. Ellsbury is a straight lefty hitter. Rodriguez a right-handed bat up next. Ellsbury hacking at that first pitch. Well, this is where the Yankees really get tough. And the Blue Jays are going to have to learn how to close out ball games. They had a game in their hand last night, leading going into the bottom of the 8th. They were up 3-1, only to see the Yankees come back and win it. And the Yankees didn't necessarily beat the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays beat themselves. They had a couple of hit batters in the inning, a walk, a bloop double. It was just an ugly inning overall, and one that was tough to forget.
Yeah, and a ball that was off the wrist of Brett Cecil that turned out to be the game winner. You got to take it to him. You got to be aggressive. I think what you don't want to do is you don't want to lay back, and you don't want to nitpick on the strike zone. You want to be aggressive and take it to them. If they hit it and they beat you, so be it. But I think you got to be aggressive.
Blue Jays have improved their defense, so Osuna needs to let his defense help him here. There's a ground ball. Valencia comes after it, and they'll have to go to first. Osuna there at the bag. They get it out. Ellsbury out at first base.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Brought to you by Scott's Coated Grass Seed. This spring, build up your outfield, even if you miss a day of watering, with Scott's Coated Grass Seed.
Alex Rodriguez will step in, and he represents the tying run. Last night, Rodriguez was the first batter Roberto Osuna faced in his major league debut and struck him out on a 2-2 changeup.
He struck him out with a changeup, and you know Rodriguez has put that in his memory bank. And that's why I think you got to go right after him. Challenge him with your best pitch.
A high fastball, 95, but upstairs. Rodriguez hit a home run his last at bat. His first home run, September 2013. That was against the Giants. It was also a grand slam. There's a little bit of a slider, that little cut slider off the plate.
He hadn't shown him that pitch yet. How about those numbers right there? 1,970 career RBIs.
That's where you got to pitch him right now. Stay hard, stay up, and in.
Get that ball over his hands. I think anything out over the plate, he's still quick enough that he can shoot the ball to right field if he has to. I think an off-speed pitch, you're playing right into his hand. I say stay hard and stay up.
There it is. Came right back in the same spot at 96. Another big strikeout for Osuna.
He's got a good arm, and I think the game plan there was let's go with the heater. There's the first one where he overthrows just a little bit. Then a slider. It's the first time he showed him that, and then here comes the heat. Up in the strike zone, above his hands, and Alex Rodriguez can't catch up to it. Good sequence right there for Osuna.
Not out of the woods yet. Carlos Beltran. He's doubled in 3 at-bats tonight. This was his first at-bat against Osuna.
When you possess that type of arm with that kind of fastball, why mess around and get beat with your secondary pitches?
Gregorius at second. Comes right back and strikes out Rodriguez and Beltran. After issuing the leadoff walk, that'll probably be it for Osuna. Weed Be Gone this spring. Knock weeds out of your park with Scott's Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, not lawns.
Roberto Osuna came into a tough spot in last night's game and faced Alex Rodriguez and struck him out tonight. He's going to just play some old country hardball. He's going to use that fastball, and he gets him once again. Last night it was a changeup that he took for a strike. That time he just blew him away with a high 95-mile-an-hour fastball. 20 years old, Alex Rodriguez is 40. He took care of him both nights.
Another good outing. You can see Pete Walker doing a little cleanup work, breaking down that outing again, and they're talking about some of the pitches. He's got underneath the pitcher too, and that's what they were talking about. This is Russell Martin, the catcher. Esmail Rogers has retired all 4 batters he's faced since coming into the game in the 6th. A cutter off the end of the bat. Rogers has evened the count, a ball and strike. Rogers had a chance to compete for a starting spot in this Yankee rotation, and he lost out that battle, and he will work out of the bullpen for the time being. Nathan Eovaldi and Adam Warren round out the 5-man rotation.
He'll be the long man out of the bullpen for the Yankees. Tonight, he's throwing a lot of breaking balls. A lot of right-handed hitters. A lot of off-speed pitches.
Blue Jays will fly to Baltimore after this game, and Mark Burley will open up the Baltimore series tomorrow afternoon. It'll be opposed by Bud Norris, the Oriole right-hander. Big cut, and Martin getting his back loose. It is nasty here tonight. There's a little bit of a heavy mist going on right now. The wind not quite as stiff as it was last night. It was up to 17 miles an hour in last night's game. Coming in from left field. Foul tip held on to by the catcher. Martin strikes out.
Make a grand entrance during the DIY Expert Sale, only at Home Building Center and Home Hardware Building Center. Homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Brett Cecil is throwing in the Blue Jays bullpen. Last inning we saw Liam Hendricks, the right-hander, and Colt Hines, the left-hander. Batista takes a breaking ball upstairs. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 8th for the Yankees, it's the cleanup hitter Mark Teixeira, Chase Headley, and then Chris Young. 4, 5, and 6 in the Yankees order.
First 2 of those are switch hitters. And if you're John Gibbons, I think you want to have them hit right-handed, hit into that Death Valley in left center field as opposed to that short porch and right.
Bautista flares it to right. Beltran gets over, makes a nice running catch. Beltran's played well in the outfield tonight.
Yeah,
he saved
charged.
Extra bases on an Encarnacion base hit to right.
Yeah, he got charged for a pretty tough error. The last time the Blue Jays scored a run in the 6th inning on that throw to third base, but gets a good jump here and takes away a hit away from Jose. Ball slicing the other way. He was trying to go that way, trying to get on the board with a base hit.
Boy, a lot of breaking balls, and the Yankees continue to use a lot of sliders and changeups to this Blue Jays lineup.
Hey, you got to try and neutralize the Jays. They can turn, I think, on anybody's fastball. Yeah, this is pretty typical of the Yankee bullpen. Coming out, throwing strikes, getting your share of strikeouts. They were #1 in the American League in strikeouts for a bullpen.
You were a very good hitter in your playing days. Did it take you longer to time up the breaking ball or the fastball at the start of a season?
For me, probably the fastball. Try to time it up, especially when you're down in Florida or out in Arizona where it's 85, 90 degrees, and then you come here and it's 30. I don't want to swing a fastball in the inner half.
Yeah, and of course you played in Cleveland for much of your career, and you were right by the lake, and it's cold and damp. But I think a lot of hitters, like Encarnacion and Bautista, they like that fastball, and even though it's cold, I think it takes them a little bit longer to time up the breaking ball at the start of the season. There's a breaking ball hammered to left and way back, and get up and gone. Edwin Encarnacion with a big insurance run here in the 8th.
Boy, you're not kidding about an insurance run, and you're not kidding about a long drive to left field. Edwin, so good at hitting an off-speed pitch and driving it out of the ballpark, getting that timing down. The wind is blowing in from left center field. It's 399 to left center field, and he hit that ball on a line off the back wall of the bullpen. Through the cold, through the mist. That was a thing of beauty.
Big run. Now it's a 3-run game. Look at this swing.
Spinner. And you got to run it out in this ballpark. Watch where this one hits. Halfway up the wall in the bullpen. Woo! Summertime, that was in those bleachers.
Second home run of the series for Encarnacion.
Ismail went to the well one too many times on a breaking ball right in the wheelhouse of Edwin Encarnacion, and his buddy Jose Reyes is loving that.
Edwin has 2 home runs in 3 games to start the season. He had 2 home runs the entire month of April last season. Josh Donaldson has a couple of hits tonight. He scored a run in the 2nd and a run in the 6th. That's a high breaking ball. Don't want to leave a lot of pitches up there. Two. Underneath that pitch, it's now a full count. There is no one throwing in the Yankees bullpen. Yankees will play the Red Sox starting tomorrow night, 3-game series against Boston. Full count, 2 outs. Off the end of the bat, Gregorius to his right. Fires to first in time. Edwin Encarnacion, his 2nd home run of the season. A little insurance run. The Blue Jays lead it 6-3. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Well, it just happened, and this was a lot of fun to watch. Edwin Encarnacion gets behind this one and hammers it to left field. Look where it hits, right off of that signage above the Blue Jays bullpen, over the 399 sign in left center field. Edwin drives that one out of here for tonight's drive of the game.
Brett Cecil into the ball game, as we mentioned earlier. He had a rough inning in last night's game, and John Gibbons has put him right back up on the horse.
Well, he's been so successful in these situations right here in the 8th inning. Lots of strikeouts. He didn't have his fastball last night. It only registered about 87, 88 miles an hour. Still has that good curveball. Tonight, he's going to turn these switch hitters around in the 8th inning, and John Gibbons said he's going to match up here towards the back end of this ball game.
Mark Teixeira homered in his last at bat. Cecil gets ahead on the first pitch with a strike. Pulled foul. 0-2. Teixeira has hit a lot against Cecil. He is 7 for 25 in their head-to-head matchups. Strike three, a 3-pitch strikeout, and Cecil retires the first batter in the bottom of the 8th. Brett Cecil has been terrific in refining his curveballs over the last 4 years. He's gaining more and more confidence with the pitch.
So he's using it more and more, and I think the scouting report is when he gets to 2 strikes, he's going to use that curveball, but that was an instance right there, Buck, where it got in the mind of Mark Teixeira, and he crossed him up through a fastball for the strikeout.
Chase Headley pops a fly into right. Bautista's going to get there. 2 quick outs for Cecil here in the 8th.
But, you know, you start throwing a lot of breaking balls like that, hitters pick up on that. You got to change it up just a little bit. He threw a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, and he froze Teixeira for a big out.
Well, we heard Greg Zahn in the update talk about the older hitters in the Yankee lineup and how their bats have slowed down a bit so they can get beaten with those good fastballs. Chris Young. He goes after the first pitch. Cecil's firing strikes as he comes in here in the 8th. Chris Young got the start tonight with Daniel Norris opening up on the mound for the Blue Jays. It's his first start of the season. Daniel Norris in line for the win. It would be his first big league win. So why would you want to go in the clubhouse?
So of course he'd be hanging out there. Where else would he be?
Yeah. Got a chance to enjoy your first win at Yankee Stadium. Why wouldn't you want to watch? I don't care how cold it is. Now it's 3-1, 2 outs. We are in the 8th inning. This is the inning where the Blue Jays ran into trouble last night. Two-out walk. So Young was hit by a pitch his last at bat. Here he draws the walk. Pete Walker on the horn to the Blue Jays bullpen.
Yankees have 4 players on their bench. Well, 3 now because they've used Drew. All of them are left-handed hitters. And there's Castro. All left-handed hitters. You know, Joe Girardi is saving those lefties for the right situation.
First pitch strike. This is J.R. Murphy, who has doubled twice tonight. Murphy started tonight. He is 2 for 3. Doubled and scored in the 5th. Doubled in the 6th. Cecil comes right back and gets ahead of him 0-2. 0-2, 2 outs. Fouled out of play. Roberto Osuna tonight went an inning in the third and recorded 3 strikeouts. He's the youngest reliever with 3+ strikeouts against the Yankees here at Yankee Stadium since Jim Palmer did it September 6, 1965.
Goodness gracious.
The ball gets away from Russell Martin.
50 years? 50 years.
Palmer, of course, would pitch his way to the Hall of Fame as a starter, but he, like Osuna, started out his young career as a relief pitcher for the Orioles. But you remember the next year, he pitched in the World Series against the Dodgers and Sandy Koufax in that '66 World Series. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 6-3 Blue Jays. Cecil strikes out Murphy to end the 8th. Brett Cecil does a great job. Couple of strikeouts in his inning of work. We'll go to the 9th. Jays are up by 3. Broadway, and when you get to Broadway, of course, there are a lot of stars that come to Yankee Stadium. Look behind the backstop, just above the Yankee sign. The arrow is pointing to Jimmy Fallon, who's sitting there with his friends, and on Fallon's right is Lorne Michaels. Jacoby Ellsbury fouls this ball off. Watch Fallon. He knocks his hat off, pokes himself in the head, says, "Okay, I'm all right. I'm all right. Thank you very much." Wow, that was scary. I better have a beer. He was surprised when he saw that ball headed his way, and fans around him had a good laugh at that. That's good stuff.
You got to be paying attention when you come to the game, even when you're behind the screen. Yeah, lots of fun.
New pitcher into the game is David Carpenter, and Carpenter is making his second appearance of this series. He spent some time with the Blue Jays, and first batter he faces will be a pinch hitter. Danny Valencia was the scheduled batter. Justin Smoke, a switch hitter, comes up as a pinch hitter.
Well, this forms a couple of reasons why. Justin Smoke is a superior defender. He'll be plugging it right in over at first base in the bottom of the inning. Plus, you get a left-handed hitter up there against Carpenter. Carpenter throws hard. He's going to fit right into that Yankee bullpen with all those strikeout artists. He's going to fit nicely now. He's ahead 2-0. He can look for a heater and try and yank one out of the ballpark.
Smoke started in last night's game, doubled in his first at bat. He finished up 1 for 4 in that game. They took a home run cut. Now I think that's exactly what the Blue Jays want to see from Justin Smoke. They're not concerned about a high batting average or an on-base percentage. They want Smoke to do some damage.
Yeah, give me some extra base hits. Loft the ball. Try and get it up in the air. You're playing at a lot more smaller ballparks in the American League East. Do some damage.
Another good fastball right at the top of the letters. It's 2-2.
Blue Jays gave up quickly on David Carpenter. He's got a good arm. He was a former everyday player that converted into a pitcher. He's got a good arm.
He had his short arm stroke. He was a catcher as a position player, and he had a good arm. Like so many of us catchers, he couldn't hit.
So make him a pitcher.
Made him a pitcher. And because he struggled hitting, he knows how tough it is to hit, so he's aggressive with that fastball. 2-2 to the pinch hitter. Smoke strikes out. Another fastball upstairs. One down in the ninth. Dane Johnson, the bullpen coach, is talking to Miguel Castro. Castro has loosened up. He's just standing by. It appears as if he's ready to come in the game for the ninth. Kevin Pillar. Powder river from David Carpenter. Yeah. He's just pouring that fastball in there.
Yeah, it's basically a fastball slider. That's what you're going to get from Carpenter. And right now he is just heating up.
The cutter off the plate outside. Kevin Pillar drove in the first run of the ball game with a single in the second inning. He's going to get a fastball. Off the plate, way off the plate inside.
Not a lot of action, huh? When the Yankee bullpen enters the ball game, they've got so many good arms down there.
And it's really a different looking bullpen. Chasen Shreve, Justin Wilson, a couple of young left-handers. Andrew Miller, of course, we've seen him in the past. We know all about him. Dellin Betances had a breakthrough season a year ago. But there's no longer a Mariano Rivera or a David Robertson down in that pen, and they were fixtures in that bullpen for a while.
For the most part, it's a new bullpen that Brian Cashman put together for the Yankees. Cashman's the general manager. They have Betances. He's a holdover from last year. They got Carpenter. Rogers pitched a little bit with them last year.
There's a broken bat, little looping liner to the shortstop. Pillar is retired, 2 down.
All three left-handers, Miller, Wilson, and Shreve, all came in trades that they acquired. David Robertson left as a free agent. He's now with the Chicago White Sox. Matt Thornton was here last year. I mean, they had so many big arms that they restructured their bullpen.
Now the Chicago White Sox, a lot of people say that they're going to be a contending team. Kansas City opened up against the White Sox, and they said, not so fast. They swept the White Sox. Chris Young will get there in foul ground and make the catch. 3 up, 3 down. We're going to go to the bottom of the ninth. Blue Jays have a 3-run lead. Miguel Castro will get his first save opportunity of his young big league career. Miguel Castro, pitching just for a second time, is going to have his first save opportunity in the big leagues. He's just 20 years old, and if you look closely, you'll see his 2014 numbers are all in A-ball.
Yeah, here he is in the big leagues. He was a starter, 8-3 with a 268 earned run average. Fastball with great movement, a changeup, a little bit of a breaking ball from Castro. He won a position on this team with a very good spring.
Justin Smoke pinch hit for Danny Valencia, takes over defensively at first base. Blue Jays trying to win this series. And Castro, as he's done all spring long, delivers a first pitch strike to Stephen Drew. Drew pinch hit against Roberto Osuna and struck out in the 6th.
This is the 3rd time that the Yankees have had a look at Castro. He has pitched in every game this series. You can see that movement that he has on his fastball.
Of course, the Blue Jays had Tuesday off, so it's not like he's pitching 3 days in a row. And in last night's game, he threw 4 pitches. There's a fly ball to center. Dalton Pompey cruises back to make the catch, 1 down. Daniel Norris in line for the win. He is the pitcher of record for the Blue Jays. Norris went 5 2/3, charged with 3 earned runs on 6 hits. How about that? If the Blue Jays can hold on here, 21-year-old Daniel Norris will pick up his first big league win. 20-year-old Miguel Castro will pick up his first big league save.
There's got to be a hold in there somewhere too, shouldn't there?
Roberto Osuna, all he did was go an inning and a third and struck out 3. Look at that pitch. That's changeup, 90 miles an hour with late movement. I saw a longtime scout here in the press room before the game, and he said, "Don't you think Castro should be in the minors learning how to pitch?" I said he skipped that class.
And I guess he was talking about throwing strikes, being able to throw strikes. He throws nothing but strikes.
Nothing but strikes, and that's been the case. He wouldn't have given up a run in spring training had there not been a minor league second baseman playing behind him, and he couldn't turn a double play. That's the only run he gave up all spring long. Whoa, that one got away from him. You can see him wiping his hand on his pant leg. Pete Walker has been pleased with the work of these youngsters. That's a foul ball as Gregorius chopped it off of his foot. A fan here is thrilled to end up with a souvenir. That young lady can't believe she got a baseball. I came to Yankee Stadium and I got a baseball. Off the end of the bat, Travis at second, 2 down. If you're wondering about how many 20-year-old closers there have been in the game, one comes to mind in my memory back in 2002. Mind you, he came up late in the season with the Angels and pitched in the postseason that year. And in the postseason, 20-year-old Francisco Rodriguez went 5-1 for the Angels in his first taste of big league action. So it's not without precedence that a 20-year-old can succeed in the majors pitching in the bullpen.
Well, what did K-Rod do when he came up? He threw strikes. And that's what we're seeing from Miguel Castro. He's a strike thrower. Plus, he's got a great arm. And he doesn't look intimidated at all, does he? Just go out there and just do your thing from day one in spring training. Just come in and throw strike. He's trying to save it for that man right there.
Got a changeup, and Ellsbury got a piece of it. Blue Jays jumped on CC Sabathia, put up a 4 spot in the second inning. And they have made it stand up. On the ground, this should do it. Travis to smoke ball game. Daniel Norris will pick up his first big league win, and 20-year-old Miguel Castro will pick up his first big league save. And the Blue Jays win the series 2-1.
Yeah, they win the series. They forget about what happened in yesterday's ball game, and it was the pitching tonight. Norris, outstanding pitching into the 6th inning with 5 strikeouts. They turn it over to Osuna, Cecil, and then